I would presume a lot of those musical venues in historical Basin Street would have been in these buildings right here. Not sure. But next stop, French Quarter, so stay tuned. Out here on Rampart Street, and apparently they have a Mardi Gras museum of costumes and culture. Okay, cool. I mean, that makes sense because this is New Orleans, home of the world famous Mardi Gras, and it takes place right here in the French Quarter. So we're going to get to the heart of the French Quarter in just a minute. Bourbon Street, all of that. But if you look over here, this building right there, that is the old mortuary chapel. As you can see right there, it was built in 1826, and it was built as a burial church for the victims of the yellow fever. This is the oldest surviving church in the city right here, so it's a very historical monument. I'm getting ready to walk down here, down Canal Street. So French Quarter is basically right next to downtown, but it's his own neighborhood, has its own culture and everything like that. And the French Quarter, of course, is where all of the mainly the tourist attractions are. Like if you ever come to New Orleans and want to check out like the core of tourism, it's right in the French Quarter, specifically Bourbon Street. But there's other streets in the French Quarter that are also nice hangout spots as well, like right here on Canal Street. So you have the New Orleans Storyville Museum right here. So I guess it's one of those interactive museums, I guess, that explores the history, the vast history of New Orleans. So of course they're gonna have a series of taverns and bars, karaoke joints, all type of stuff. Museums, hotels, you name it. Just to give a background of the French Quarter. French Quarter is the oldest neighborhood in New Orleans, so it was established even before downtown New Orleans was established. So the French Quarter is also known as the Vieux Carré. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I believe it's the Vieux Carré. That was the original, or that's what it's also known as. And it is, that translates into old square in English. So we're talking like not long after the founding of New Orleans back in 1718. So we're talking the early 18th century. And the city of New Orleans pretty much grew around the French Quarter. It remains one of the biggest tourist attractions, not only in New Orleans, but the U.S. in general. Probably one of the biggest tourist attractions in the world because of its, you know, many landmark hotels and restaurants, and it's just a really cool hangout spot, especially at night, just as long as you exercise caution and all that stuff, you know, because of course, you know, you're going to have you'll have people at night who want to indulge in a lot of alcohol and be intoxicated, maybe a little rowdy. So you just have to, of course, at nighttime, during the day as well, but definitely at nighttime, you definitely have to keep your head on the swivel. But other than that, New Orleans is a really chill spot, especially the French Quarter. It's really chill. A lot of things to do. The nightlife here, I would imagine, is just off the chain. I've never experienced it myself because this is my first time in New Orleans, but or at least my first time in New Orleans since I was a child. Like, I've been in New Orleans before, but it was several decades ago, so, you know. I've just seen French Quarter on TV, in the media and stuff like that. So of course they have a lot of seafood restaurants. New Orleans is known for its seafood. Oysters, gumbo. Gumbo is a staple right here in New Orleans. And also, what you call that? Po' boys. Check this out. This is called the Royal Sonesta Hotel right here. Another hotel right here. Hotel Le Marais, or Le Marais. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it. A lot of these names are in French, and my French is not the greatest. I'm not even gonna lie about that. Yeah. They even have an art gallery across the street, right in this building right here. But let me I want to go this way, or do I want to go that way? I'm gonna go this way. I'm at right now is called Royal Street. Yeah. Yo. Nah, I don't smoke, man. Sorry. Yeah, this is the Chief Pascal Calagero Courthouse, Supreme Court of Louisiana building right here. So the Supreme Court building is right here in the French Quarter. So I'm on Royal Street. So I think I'm a block or so away from Bourbon Street. This might be Bourbon coming up right here. I'm on St. Louis Street right now. There goes Antoine's Restaurant. That's another staple. Probably one of the, I think it's the oldest operating restaurant in St. Louis. Or dang, not St. Louis, New Orleans. I said St. Louis because I'm on St. Louis Street, but yeah, it's the oldest operating restaurant in New Orleans since 1840. So I read online that this is a very important restaurant. It's a family-owned joint, so those family-owned restaurants usually be the most enduring restaurants and establishments in the city. So, and right next to it they have a bar called the Hermes Bar. We have a mansion right here called the Pierre Soleil Mansion, erected in 1832. So you have a lot of old pre-Civil War buildings in around this area, of course. I think that now this is Bourbon Street right here. This is Bourbon Street. I'm gonna go down this way and I'm gonna come back down the other way on Bourbon, because this is the historic Bourbon Street. This is like the main gathering area for the Mardi Gras. I mean, the Mardi Gras pretty much rides all throughout. That float rides throughout French Quarter, but Bourbon Street is like it's basically like the main portion of the French Quarter, where a lot of the bars, they have a gentleman's club. So clubs and bars are pretty much around this area. Bourbon Street. A lot of places where you can get your alcohol, daiquiris, cocktails, you name it. It's right here in Bourbon Street, right down Bourbon Street. And if alcohol is not your thing, because it's not my thing, you know, I'm not really, I'm not a drinker myself, so I don't particularly care for alcohol. But if that's your thing, then, you know, excuse me. There's another hotel right here called the Royal Sonesta. There's another historical establishment right here. It's called the Famous Door, established in 1934. So it's known to be a famous live music club right here on Bourbon Street. And here are all the famous people who pass through these famous doors. I mean, it's a whole bunch of people too. You got Dolly Parton come through here, Billie Holiday, Judy Garland, Ken Stabler, Owen Brennan, of course, New Orleans' own Louis Armstrong, James Ingram, the late James Ingram. There's so many of them, as you can see right here. Clint Eastwood. You'll have to freeze frame to see pretty much all of these names. There's so many of them, but I just named a few of them. I'll tell you one thing, it's a lot of construction and road work going on around here. There's been a lot of sidewalks and streets blocked off since I've been here. Definitely have to make sure those streets are in order and paved and all that good stuff. Another gentleman's club. Cafe Beignet. So it's a breakfast spot right here, but they also serve sandwiches and seafood as well. But I guess their name, the Cafe Beignet, I guess their specialties is breakfast and beignets. Oh, that's dope. Look at the interior of that bad boy. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Look at this guy right here. I think this is the artist of this mural right here. It says Q Marie. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but this is the mural right here. It's like a basketball player with an afro. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but it has a 504. Dope painting, whatever it is. Whatever it's supposed to represent. It's pretty cool. pizza by the slice. Okay. Galatore's restaurant, another old classical restaurant right here in the heart of the French Quarter, right on Bourbon Street. There goes the side of the building right there. 1905. At the corner of Bourbon and Iberville Street. And of course there's a Hard Rock Cafe. Pretty much every real big city has a Hard Rock Cafe in it. Bourbon House Seafood. It's like a nice little fancy restaurant right here. Check that out, they got a Crystals right here in the French Quarter on Bourbon Street. Hustler Hollywood up. That's the more risque part of Bourbon Street. And here we are on Canal Street. Look at that CVS over there. Crown Plaza. Vin Carré. So I guess this store right here, you can get like they serve alcohol, and they also have like a series of like basically New Orleans style mix, like as you can see right here. You got your jambalaya. You know, of course, all these things right here are staples right here in New Orleans and Louisiana as a whole. That Cajun food, Cajun gumbo. And they also have things you can get right here for the Mardi Gras. And you can also have little souvenirs, so that's pretty cool. It's called the Vin Carré. Again, I don't know if, and it's French, so I don't know if I pronounced it right. Another little gift shop right here. Blue Bayou Seafood. Okay. Check this out. I guess this is the restaurant's mascot, holding a daiquiri in his hand. The alligator with the chef's hat. All right, cool. Another Mardi Gras store. Bunch of souvenirs. Willie's Chicken Shack, daiquiris and cold beer.
You might.
Now I'm at the corner of Canal Street and St. Charles. Let me continue down this way real quick. America's first movie theater. So this is America's first movie theater right here, where this Voodoo Market sits. Okay. 623 Canal Street in Vitascope Hall. And it opened up on July 26, 1896, when William T. Pop Rock and William J. Wainwright, shown with two patrons, and projectionist William Reed, opened the first indoor seated movie theater in the United States. So here I am, right here on the site of the America's first movie theater. All right, cool. Of course, there's a Popeyes right here. That tall building right there, that's the Sheraton Hotel. New Orleans is kind of giving me like Savannah vibes. I remember watching an interview with Savannah native and rapper Quando Rondo. I remember he said something about Savannah's like a baby New Orleans. There's a lot of similarities between Savannah and New Orleans, and I see what he's talking about. He's right.
Which place?
I see New Orleans is like a bigger version of Savannah, but they do have a lot of similarities. go down this way. This is St. Charles Street right here. This is where I wanted to come, St. Charles. Whitney National Bank. St. Charles Market. Residence Inn. So it's a few hotels right here on St. Charles. Residence Inns. They have an Intercontinental Hotel right next to it. They have a Hilton. This tall building right there, that's the Hancock Whitney Tower. But there you guys have it. That was French Quarter, Bourbon Street, Canal Street, St. Charles Street. So stay tuned for more of beautiful New Orleans. This is Lafayette Square, one of the few city squares right here in downtown New Orleans. And right now it looks like they're setting up for what looks like a concert that's going to take place right here at Lafayette Square. But Lafayette Square is one of those Again, one of those city squares. It's extremely old. It was established back in 1789. That's a statue of Henry Clay. And this building right here is the U.S. Court of Appeals. And there goes Ben Franklin. This is the statue of Ben Franklin. And it was dedicated to the people of New Orleans by Henry Wadsworth Gustine of Chicago, Illinois. One of the quotes on this statue says, "Save while you are young, to spend while you are old. 1 penny saved is better than 2 pennies earned." Poor Richard's sayings. Oh, that's facts. That's true. That is so true. Save while you're young, to spend while you are old. 1 penny saved is better than 2 pennies earned. Absolutely. So all my young folks out there, my young viewers out there, definitely save that money. Yeah, this is the Court of Appeals building right here. That's the Herbert Federal Building. I'm gonna definitely have to timestamp this video. I mean, I timestamp all my videos that are longer than an hour, but this most definitely, because I spent so much of this video downtown in the French Quarter. So, but it's a lot to see, it's a lot to take in. It's hard not to. St. Patrick's Church. And this church has been up since 1833. So, you know, of course, New Orleans has a ton of historical buildings, of course. Do they have a lighthouse downtown? A lighthouse structure? Interesting. Arts District, New Orleans. This is Julia Street, right here in the Arts District. Little easy home of the pressed po' boys. It's been a long time since I had a po' boy. I'm pretty sure New Orleans, being that it is pretty much the home of the po' boys, or the originators of that sandwich, I'm pretty sure they have the best po' boys on the planet.